Yeah, it's perfect.
Great. So I'm in the DR, guys, and just so you know, there's a lot of noise. Okay, so there's a lot of rhythm in the street. The trucks right now, there's like a big giant semi going by, and the streets are about this wide. Now here comes a bunch of mopeds. So can you hear me in spite of all that stuff, or can you hear all that stuff, Tony?
No, it's pretty
It
clear.
sounds good. Yeah.
It sounds. Yeah, these new earpods, by the way, they're tops. They're supposed to block
There
out
you
all
go.
the sound. Awesome. So beginning, guys, I want to talk to you about, we talk about every time, is we talk about being a great learner. And so whatever you don't write down, you will not remember. And you need to write that down. And if you've already written that down like 10 times, you need to write down the 11th time. Because what you don't write down, you will not remember. And writing down is just the first phase of being a great learner. It's just the first phase. Phase one is to write it down. Phase two is you have to review it. And I'll tell you, it's hard. Like Adam said, he went back and he's listened to these Zooms, and to take something, to take information, that's knowledge, and to turn it into wisdom. Your job is to learn to apply the knowledge. And we say AYY is above your years. And the players that can actually apply knowledge at an early age in their life, what happens is you separate yourself. And one of the key phrases or concepts we're always going to go to is separation. Separation. How do you separate yourself? Because there's too many players. SATE is separation amongst the elite. Guys, those pens should be rolling right now. I see people looking at my face. You shouldn't be looking at my face. Your face should be down. You should be writing. AYY is above your years. RYC is reach your ceiling. SATE is separation amongst the elite. So whatever team you're on, it could be Division III, it could be Division I, it could be Pac-12, SEC, it could be whatever it is. It could be in the minor leagues, big leagues. Your job is to separate yourself. And the higher up you go, the players are elite. Doesn't matter what level it is. You go to a good JC, they're elite. Every guy's a good player. Every guy. So how do you separate yourself? One is by being a great learner and taking the information that you're hearing, writing it down, taking excellent notes, and then reviewing those notes. And that's why when you think about someone who is a great achiever or whatever they do, like a Kobe Bryant or a Steph Curry or a Nolan Arenado or a Colton Wong, these types of players, whatever sport it is, they don't have a lot of distractions. They simplify their lives. STC, write that down. Simplify the complex. Life is extremely complex. Extremely complex, and your job is to simplify everything you do to the main thing. What is the main thing? Well, right now we're talking about the main thing. We're talking about separation. We're talking about living above your years. We're talking about reaching your ceiling. How do you do it? Do you do it by having a lot of distractions? And a lot of the stuff that I talk about is not very attractive. It's not stuff that you really want to hear, because that means you have to edit your life. That's EYL, edit your life. Write that down. Your job is EYL, edit your life. And that acronym, I came up with the acronym listening to Kobe Bryant speak, and he said, what changed my life was going to Goat Mountain. Goat Mountain, you can probably imagine what Goat Mountain is. Goat Mountain, he hung out with Larry Bird, he hung out with Magic Johnson, he hung out with the best of the best, all of them. Michael Jordan, he hung out with them all. And he said, I want to learn from the best, because they all leave clues, because they all live different. So how do you do it? Well, Kobe said one was, I have mentors in my life. Without mentors, I got no chance. And that's what one of the purposes of the Zoom is to serve as a mentor. So you have Adam in your life, Tony, you got your coaches, you got your high school coaches, right? You have mentors, but a lot of mentors really aren't really like challenging you mentally with how you live your life on and off the field. And that's one of the purposes of these Zoom calls is to challenge you, to hit you hard and say, are you really aligned with what you think is important and what you want in your life? And very few players are aligned. Alignment means you know where you're going and you know how to get there, and you're on that path daily. And I'll tell you that the majority of the time you're going to be missing a little bit, but it's about mentors in your life helping you stay on track, get on track. When you think of an airplane that travels, I just flew here from Florida across the ocean to the Dominican Republic, and they say airplanes, jets, they're off target. So they have the destination, Florida, I left in Jacksonville. I'm going from Jacksonville to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. And the pilot obviously knows where he wants to go, right? That's his navigation, that's his destination. But on that journey, the jet's going to be off track a large percentage of the time. Over 50% of the time, it has to re-navigate to stay on track and stay aligned. And that's the purpose of mentors. And if you don't have mentors in your life, I'll tell you, the Zoom call will serve a great purpose. And you can also mentor yourself in ways where you take great notes. We're talking about being a master learner. So if you take great notes and you hold yourself accountable, that's what I've done pretty much throughout my life. I've taken the best information and I've sought after it. And I hold myself accountable daily. I live on a ranch, 3,000 acres in the middle of nowhere. So there's a lot of time by myself. And I don't spend a lot of time with a lot of other people, except when I'm coaching, when I'm out on the field. So then I go back home, but it's accountability. And when you have your checkpoints and your checklist, write that down, checkpoints, checklist. That's what you align to. And when you have those, you can always go back. And Tony Gwynn, arguably the greatest hitter of all time, for sure in the last probably 30, 40 years, almost batted 400. His lifetime average is ridiculous. He struck out Tony, I think 1 year, I think it was 7 times. I mean, crazy. I mean, I don't know if it was 7, but look up Tony Gwynn's stats. Tony Gwynn had 6 bullet points for his swing. That's it. And he would go back every game, even at bat to at bat. Sometimes he'd go into the clubhouse and watch the video and just see. And all he would do is check in. That's navigation. That's checking in. That's getting aligned. So what you're creating, guys, from the information that you're gathering is alignment. You're creating navigation. You're creating bullet points to build your process and your routine. And if you want to be a special player, the question is what makes you special? There was a Division I coach who used to always say, and I'd spent a lot of time with him because I would help them with the prospect camps. It's actually the Cal Poly coach. And he would say, what makes you special? I want you to write that question down. What makes you special? What makes me special? You're asking yourself that. Because if you don't have a lot of qualities that make you special, there's nobody that's going to pay you to play baseball. Nobody. Because you're not special. You have to separate yourself by doing things better. In one way, you could just say after tonight, saying, hey, I'm a master note taker. I'm a master listener. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to review. Then I'm going to review all the Zooms while everybody else is playing video games and watching movies and hanging out with their girlfriends. You know what you're doing? When you talk about separation, we're talking about editing your life. EYL, edit your life. You know what happens? You start to separate. And all of this, I mean, the stuff on the Zooms, the stuff that you're getting, guys, is there's so much information. It's like stuff that would carry you through all the way through the big leagues. The information that I'm sharing, I'm going to get into it in just a minute here, is information that'll carry you all the way through your life. It doesn't matter if it's baseball. It doesn't matter if you're going to be a CEO at some day, and baseball will end, even if you play in the big leagues. I want to start with the story of Kalai Rosario. Kalai Rosario played with our teams for over 2 years. I knew him for probably 6 years because I've done camps with Colton Wong, his father, Kaha Wong. Colton's the big leaguer from Milwaukee Brewers, was with the Cardinals. His father, Kaha, trains players on the Big Island, and Kalai Rosario was one of his guys. And he went in the draft, the COVID draft. And the scout that took him was a good friend of mine. He also signed Royce Lewis 2 years before for $7.1 million. Royce Lewis, the Royce Lewis story is unbelievable, but I'll get back to Royce another time. This Kalai Rosario story is special. COVID, that meant the scouts and college coaches weren't able to get out and see a lot of guys, right? So pretty simple. Scout calls up his number one reference, which is his hitting coach and his team coach for winter ball in Hawaii, Big Island. He said, tell me about his makeup. Write it down, makeup. Write it down, makeup. Tell me about his makeup. I need to decide if we're going to draft him this year. I've only seen him one time. And we need to decide if he's going to be in the top 5 rounds. Because all he did was called his reference. Write that down. References matter. Every person in your life, every person is a reference, because once they meet you, they will refer information, whatever they gather. If you were selfish, if you were an introvert, if you were lackadaisical, if you were rude to your mother, those are all negative. Let's go to the other side. What if you were positive, energy, right? Good personality, good communicator, look coach in the eye, firm handshake, right? Great teammate, right? Whoever comes in contact with you will be a reference for the rest of your life. So you don't know who it's going to be, meaning you don't know who's going to call who, because everybody's a reference. Well, you know what happened? Kalai Rosario went in the 5th round. I thought he should have been a 2nd rounder, but he went in the 5th round solely because of what the reference said. The reference said this, plus makeup. Now we're going to go through the breakdown of makeup, and we're going to talk about makeup between the lines. And we've talked about it before, GDBRR, but we're going to talk in specific about the B, the bulldog. Write down the bulldog. The bulldog is confidence. They play big with an attitude. The bulldog plays big with an attitude. You can feel them. They attack on every pitch, regardless of size, strength, age, situation, circumstance. They attack on every pitch. They think big, they feel big, they play big. That is the definition of the bulldog. And the bulldog has nothing to do with size and strength. Nick Madrigal is the biggest bulldog I've ever seen. He's 5'6". When he was at Oregon State, Pac-12 Player of the Year, 1st round draft pick, over $3 million. He played bigger than anybody I've ever seen in my life. The bulldog, playing big, think big, TB, feel big, FB, PB is play big, TB, FB, PB, write it down. TB, FB, PB, playing big, playing as the bulldog is a product of thinking big. And when you think big, you feel big. When you feel big, you play big. And when you play big, you know what happens? You have big results. Big things come your way. GDBRR talking about the bulldog. Now, when you think about yourself, I want you to write this down. I will rarely ever out-talent other players. When you're on an elite team, could be a Trosky national team, could be Showtime, the best Showtime team, could be the best Trosky Texas team, could be whatever team, could be the area code team, it could be your first year in college, could be Team USA, whatever team you're on, when it's an elite team, a team made up of better players, you will rarely, understand this, you will rarely out-talent the other players. Now, there might be a couple players, but I'm talking about you roll out in the infield. Are you really going to have the best arm? Are you going to be the fastest runner? Are you going to have the best exchange? Are you going to have the best exit speed? Are you going to have the best batting average? Hit, run, field, throw, hit for power, the 5 physical tools that we grade you in. Will you actually be better than everybody? Of course not. And rarely, and the higher up you go, you're going to look around and say, that shortstop right there. I'm in the Dominican Republic. You're going to look around at the Dominican shortstops and say, that guy's got a better arm than me. That guy's got better feet than me. He's got better hands than me. So how am I going to beat him out? Because your whole journey is going to be about guys that have more talent and more tooled, bigger and stronger. It's going to happen everywhere you look. It was every team I was on. Okay. Looking around. Well, that guy's 6'2". I'm 5'11". Oh, he runs a 6'7". I run a 6'8". That guy runs a 6'4". That guy's throwing 93 across the diamond. I'm throwing 88. Okay. You go, man, that guy's more talented. So where we're going with this is the bulldog. The bulldog thinks big. When he thinks big, he feels big. When he feels big, he plays big. How do you play big? You play big by how you think. And the great separator is how you think. Write that down. The separator is how I think. It's not being the biggest. It's not being the fastest. Nick Madrigal's in the big leagues in a year and a half. He's Pac-12 Player of the Year. He's drafted in the 1st round his junior year in college at Oregon State. He's not the biggest. He's not the fastest. He's not the strongest. He's not nothing, except he plays the biggest. Yes, he's talented. I'd say the one thing that he has probably better than anybody is his hand-eye coordination. Is probably, because they say in the big leagues, his bat to ball skills are probably arguably the best in the big league. So he might have the best bat to ball skills maybe in the world, but he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, he doesn't have the best arm, he's not the best defender. And he's living out his dream as a college Pac-12 player, and also as a big leaguer, and also as a 1st rounder. So how does he do it? Well, we're going to take you to story number 2. Story number 2 is about a current major leaguer right now. Okay. I was with the Kansas City Royals the last 3 weeks ago, working at their academy. And we had about 100 players, and we were doing, actually we had about 150 players. We had a coaches clinic. It was a pretty cool time over there in Kansas City. They have the most beautiful facility in the country. It's about a $25 million facility, indoors and outdoors. And their current shortstop, who could name the shortstop right now for Kansas City Royals? Can anybody do it? Tony, can these guys actually write something on the screen, like send a text so that we can see if anybody knows?
Yeah, they could throw it in the messaging. Yep, they can turn off the mic. They can put it in the chat. And again, guys,
Someone throw it up there. Who do you got? Shortstop, Kansas City Royals. 5-tool player, 5 tools, not 4, not 3, not Derek Jeter with 3, with maybe 2.5. This guy's a 5-tooler. Mike Trout, 4.5 tools. Bryce Harper used to be a 5-tooler. I don't know if he can still run. Adam, can he still run, do you think? I'm sure he's still like a 4. You know, I was looking at home to first, all the guys in the big leagues. You'd be blown away. Right now, the average high school run time home to first is about a 4.6, maybe even a 4.7. Average, if you took every team.
We got
It's
one
Mondesi.
answer.
It's Mondesi. Mondesi is the shortstop. And going back to, guys, you're not going to out talent players. You know, there might be one team where you're going, oh, I got the best arm, but most elite teams you're on, you will not be the most talented player on the team. So the point is this: don't build your confidence on your tools. Don't build your confidence on how you look in the mirror. Don't look in the mirror and say, man, I look good today. And we do it all the time. If you got a uniform that makes you look sloppy, right? You got a big pimple on your face, and you go to school, it's just being human. We base our confidence often on how we look or externally what we bring to the table. Man, that guy's bigger than me. He's probably better than me. He's got a better arm than me. That's weak. That's weak, low frequency thinking. Okay, so we're going to talk about building your confidence, not from tools and the externals and the physical, but building it from our mental makeup. And I want you to write this down. My greatest strength is my mind. That's my greatest strength. So now when you walk on the field, you don't ever have to look around and say, man, I'm a little inferior, because you will be. I'm telling you right now, come to the Dominican, come to the DR, go sign an A-ball contract, go play in the Pac-12. You're going to go, wow, there's some really good players. And I'm a freshman or I'm a rookie. You know what happens? You don't stick around very long, because the great separator is what we talked about in the beginning. What is it? It's how you think. And you can train your brain and trick your brain all day long. And that's what we're building right now. We're teaching you perspective so that you understand how success really works. Success isn't based on the 5 physical tools. Now, it can contribute, but that is not the source where we build our confidence. So let's go to Mondesi. So I'm with the Royals. And anytime, guys, I talk about these stories, you can tell them to someone, but please do not like share them video-wise, because I should have the respect. You know, I want to respect their privacy. So understand that. Not that you guys are going to go like copy what I say and video it out, but just please, because the stories that I tell come from people that respect me enough to tell me the stories. So this is a story that is not known. And it's a very powerful story. Mondesi's a 5-tool player. He's arguably the best. He's like Tatis, basically. He's a very similar talent to Tatis. Tatis is a 5-tooler. There's not a lot of 5-tool guys. Nolan Arenado's not a 5-tool guy. Derek Jeter was not a 5-tool guy. Brandon Crawford's not a 5-tool guy. These guys aren't 5-toolers. They're talented players. But Mondesi is a 5-tooler. And I was talking to one of the coaches with the Royals, and he told me, he said, you know, last year I had an opportunity to go out and hit him some ground balls. And then the next day they asked me to play catch with him. And the next day they asked me to throw him BP. And keep in mind, guys, this is the son of a big leaguer. He's one of the most talented players in the world. He's in the big leagues in the early 20s, Dominican Republic. And I said, give me something on Mondesi. What do you got on it? Like something good, anything, or something that we can learn from what he struggles with. And he said, he's the most talented player, but he lacks confidence. And I want you to take this story and understand that he's an example of the human element. Human beings lack confidence. There's very few humans that can just walk around the face of the earth and actually have nothing but confidence. It doesn't exist. So once you understand that, you realize you're not inferior. You go, okay, I'm just like everyone else. So the question is what do you do with your doubt? Because everybody has it. And I'm not saying you have it every second of the day, but it comes and goes. And the greater the challenge of the situation, and the better talent around you. And if you're not one of the elite guys, you're trying to fit in, or you're being judged by a college coach or a pro scout or an elite travel ball program, whatever it is, right? What happens is you tend to doubt, and doubt is low frequency. And when you're low frequency, you know what happens? You don't receive the results you're looking for. You struggle because there's tension in your body, okay? So he said, hey, he said, Mondesi struggles with his confidence. Now, you think he struggles with his confidence in A-ball? Probably not, but he's in the big leagues now. And in the big leagues, okay? What's up, homie? Yeah. So in the big leagues, okay, he's with the best. And that night, okay, the night of the story, okay, they were playing the Cleveland Indians. This was like 2 years ago. And Lindor was over at shortstop. And the Royals coach said, hey, you see that guy over there? Mondesi goes, yeah, Lindor. He says, you can be better than him. He's like, come on, man. He's like, you can be better than him. He said, go ask him what his secret sauce is. Go ask him what his secret is. So I want you to write down right now, what do you think his secret is? Because Lindor told him. What do you think he actually told Mondesi? Because Mondesi went out during pregame and he went up to him. These guys are homies. You got a Puerto Rican, Lindor, and you got the Dominican, Mondesi. Okay, Lindor's like a vet. Mondesi's like the young player, right? Mondesi asked, what is the secret, Lindor? And by the way, Mondesi is more talented than Lindor. God-given talent, Mondesi. Results, better player, Lindor. And what do we say in the beginning the difference was? It's how you what? It's how you think. It's how you what? It's how you think. Very simple. Lindor said this. If anybody wrote this down, let us know. Lindor said, every time I step foot on this field, I am the best player. I'm the best player on the field. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. Mondesi walks back to his coach. Coach says, what do you got? He says, I am the best. That's the way Lindor believes. That's the way he thinks. That's what he believes. The problem, though, is Mondesi doesn't think he's the best. And this is the point I want to get across this point. It's very simple. You don't have to be the best to believe you're the best. Believing you're best is nothing but tricking your brain. That's all it is. It's tricking your brain. What is it? TTB, trick the brain. Your mind, obviously, is your mind. Some people have more doubt than others. Very few humans, if not any, are going to walk on this face of the earth and always feel confident. Muhammad Ali, I studied his life, the most confident athlete in the history of the world. Listen to him speak. Watch what he did. He never lost till he was 30. He's an Olympian at 19. He's a world champion at 20. He went 10 years as a professional without losing. He didn't even know what it meant to lose. And this is what he said after he retired. He said, the reason why I spoke with such confidence, because I was scared. I was scared. He was scared of failure. He was scared of losing. He was scared that he wasn't the best. So what did he always tell everybody? I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. Now your brain works like a filing system. And you guys need to understand this because it's very simple. Your brain is like a filing system in a computer. When you open a file, what happens? You're in that file. And you can work only in one file at a time. You can go into that file. You can have two open. You can have three open, but you can work in one file. So my question to you is, what file are you working in when you step into the box? It doesn't make any difference on the way to the park. If you're like, man, I don't know if I'm going to get any hits today. This guy's an All-American. This guy's committed to Arkansas. You know, it doesn't really matter when you're going to the park. It doesn't even matter when you're on the bench. The question is when you step into that box, what file are you in? Are you in the voice of doubt file? Or are you in the voice of confidence file? And one of the greatest of all time, Rod Carew, he would enter the file of confidence every single pitch throughout his whole career. Every single pitch, he'd step out of the box and say, I am the best. I'm the best hitter and you can't get me out. He'd say that every pitch. Every single pitch, what file did he enter into? The file of what? Confidence, because he was blocking the voice of doubt. He's got Nolan Ryan on the mound, 7 no-hitters. probably just struck out 15. He probably struck out Carew, probably 2 in the game. And he steps in the box. He says, I'm the best. You know what happens when you talk to yourself with that confidence? You know what happens? You radiate positive energy, which is called frequency. And the players that dominate, whatever it is, if it's ping pong, if it's basketball, they believe they're the best. And when you believe you're the best, you know what happens? You draw results because the law of attraction is real. Positive thinking draws, literally, it draws positive results. And just like a thermostat on the wall, guys, that measures the temperature of the room, if we put a thermostat on your forehead that measured your faith versus fear, faith is belief, fear is doubt. If we measure what file you're in when you make that next pitch, when you step in the box and take that next swing, when you step into your pre-pitch and you have to make that next play, if you are residing in the I can and I will file, I'm the best and I can't be beat, making plays, hitting rockets, making pitches. If you can reside in that file, you know what happens? You will be at your very best. Saiko no jotai de, that's Japanese for the very best version of you, to be at your best. The key is to trick your brain and to get into that file over and over and over and over. Rod Carew got up over 15,000 times and he did it every single pitch. I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. And that's our mantra. That's our make our bed mantra. That's our brush our teeth mantra. That's doing the dishes mantra. That's taking the trash out. Write it down. ITB, 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 ITB. I'm the best fielder and I'm going to get you out. I'm the best pitcher and I'm going to get you out. I'm the best hitter and you can't get me out. I'm the best catcher and I'm going to throw you out. You train your mind. And you say it over and over and over and over and over, just like your name, guys. Like you know your name. L-Y-K-Y-N is like you know your name. You know your name so well because you've heard it a million times. It's like a broken record. Tommy, 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 Tommy. You heard it 100,000 times. That's why you know your name is Tommy and you don't doubt your name because you've said it, you've written it, and you've heard it. Well, that's one of the secrets to being elite is it's talking to yourself, tricking and training. Pete Rose, arguably the greatest player of all time. He's the greatest hit tool hitter of all time. Pete Rose's son, Pete Jr., calls him up. Pete Rose trained and tricked his brain on a regular basis. And this is what he said. He said, I wasn't that good. And I told you earlier, you're not that good, guys. You're not. How many guys here are running 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 60s? How many guys on the mound are throwing 92 to 98? Well, what we're saying is you're probably not a first rounder, but that doesn't mean you're not a great player and you can't be a great player. The key is build your tools, develop your body, get better, but don't rely on your physical abilities and tools and skills to give you confidence because you're never going to out-talent the whole squad. There's no chance. So Pete Rose's son calls him up. He says, Dad, he's in the minor leagues. Now, remember this, Pete Rose has no physical tools, none. When he was drafted as a favorite, no tools. But he has the sixth tool, the bulldog. Think big, feel big, play big. TB, FB, PB, think big, feel big, play big. Say that with me, guys. TB, FB, PB, TB, FB, PB, TB, FB, PB, ITB. I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best fielder. I'm going to get you out. I'm the best hitter and you can't get me out. And I'm the best pitcher. I'm going to get you out, right? It's a battle of the will. So Pete Jr. says, Dad, he says, Dad, I'm in a slump. He says, Pops, I'm in a slump. What do I do? You know what Pete Sr. said? The greatest hitter, probably one of the worst athletes in the history of Major League Baseball. Couldn't run, couldn't field, couldn't throw. Short. You know what he said? He says, hey, Junior, I've never been in a slump. He said, Junior, I've never been in a slump. And he hung up on him. He said, call someone else. I've never been in a slump. Hangs up on his kid. See, of course he's been in a slump, but it's how you talk to yourself. I can't be beat. Making plays. I'm the best fielder. It's getting into that file and staying there. So the mantra I'm going to give you, takeaway, okay? I've already given you a few takeaways. The ITB mantra, I'm the best hitter, I'm the best fielder, I'm the best pitcher, whatever position you play, okay? If you're a position player, you should be, I'm the best hitter and you can't get me out, I'm the best fielder, I'm going to get you out. You say it over and over. You're going out for pregame, you say it over and over. You say it in between pitches. I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. So we got Modesty and Lindor. What's the difference? You got one guy who's more talented with 5 physical tools. You got another guy with maybe 3.5, maybe 4. Who's better? The guy who thinks better. He thinks better. So your job is to go to the Mind Gym daily. Take inventory of how you think. And by the way, this, guys, you can think any way you want. You can think any way you want. You have a choice. And when the voice of doubt comes, you just replace it. I can and I will. It's ICIW, I can and I will, versus IHIT, that's I hope, I think. And a lot of players, when they get challenged, they get on stages, they get in situations where they're challenged. It's I hope and I think, versus I can and I will. We're going to give you one more, SWDC. SWDC will transform your life as well. When you stop caring about what people think and you stop caring about results, you just go out and compete. You say, I'm the best hitter and you can't get me out. I'm the best, let's go. And you go out and you carry yourself with that level of frequency, even though you're not the best. But by the way, back it with your preparation and how you prepare during the week and how you get to the weight room and how you work with your body and how you work with your tools. You back it, okay? Back it. But now you come out on the field with a frequency. And I'll tell you right now, you can feel the guys that are high frequency. And oftentimes they're not the biggest, they're not the fastest, they're not the strongest. Dayton Moore is the general manager for the Kansas City Royals. His son, Robert Moore, surpassed his senior year and committed to Arkansas. He played there last year. He's 5'6", he's 5'9", 160. Write it down, Robert Moore, 5'9", 160. On his visit, his official visit to Arkansas, his official visit, he goes in the coach's office. And the coach says, it's great to have you, Robert. And he says, sir, it's great to be here, but I just want you to know that I'm your new shortstop. And whoever's playing shortstop, he needs to move to second base. Because when I come, he's not playing shortstop anymore. I'm your new shortstop for 3 years. Why do you say 3 years and not 4? Because he's getting drafted his junior year in the top 3 rounds. Does he really know? Of course he doesn't. But that's how you have to think. Then you back it with how you live your life. And you know what happens? He was a starting freshman shortstop at Arkansas. And he should have been a senior in high school. And he beat out the guy that was already there. Because he went in there to take his job. Went in there to take his job. He didn't go in there to hope he did well and hope he survived and hope he doesn't get cut and hope he doesn't lose a scholarship. That's the hope and think guy. I hope, I think. That's low frequency. Every day you're going to need to work on your frequency. Every day. Because it's challenging. It's difficult. Human beings have emotions. We have doubt. We have fear. And faith and fear are always going to be battling for the front of your mind. But you can conquer fear with faith. SWDC is what? So I don't care. Say SWDC. Say SWDC. Say ICIW. Say FNFO. FNFO is fear nothing, fear no one. ICIW is I can and I will. I can and I will. SWDC is so I don't care. And you start training your brain not to care and worry and put yourself in the high frequency zone. I'm gonna end with this. We had a player, he played with Adam, our Trosky team. I'm not gonna tell you his name. His dad's a big league manager. When I met him, freshman year, he was committed to the Pac-12. He weighed about 105 pounds. And I was like, how did that guy commit to Pac-12 school at 105 pounds? He maybe it was 115. Okay. He came and did one of our showcases at USF when we used to do a WCAL showcase at USF. We used to do with Sarah. And he was there and he ended up playing with us after that. His frequency was ridiculous. He was skinny, he was weak, but he played big because he believed in himself and he worked hard. I talked to a college coach at the Stanford camp. And he said, this player that we're talking about, he said, you know what? I think he's gotten comfortable. So I told him he's one of my favorite players of all time. I told him the story of how he was dominating the area codes. And he was this little dude, just dominated because his mind was right. And he said, well, he's not dominating anymore. He says, I think he's lost it. Let me just tell you something. You can come and go in and out of the confidence file of how you live your life. Right now, you can be confident. Sorry, that's the New Mexico head coach, Big Mike Kirby. So just because you got it now doesn't mean you're going to keep it. And just because you don't have it doesn't mean you can't get it. The point is you can get it, but it's a process, and it's the way you live your life. It's a lifestyle of positive thinking at all times. And you don't build your confidence on how big and fast you are. You don't build your confidence on that because you're not going to be the biggest and fastest guy. Talked about in the beginning. Build your confidence on how you think, and then back it with how you live your life. Preparation, working hard. Okay. But even if you get to the park and you didn't work hard that week, it doesn't make any difference. Get to the confident file. Get there. I can and I will. I can't be beat. Let me tell you something. You can still dominate. I've seen it a million times. You're like, man, I haven't thrown a pin for 2 weeks. Man, you get out and you throw a no-no because you get your mind right. Now, you probably couldn't pull that off for like a year. You're not going to have that type of consistency. But understand that preparation, feeling good, guys. Mechanics, it's all overrated. Overrated. Write it down. That should be your key word. Overrated. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. Story of Robert Moore is ridiculous. A junior in high school going into Arkansas, telling the head coach that I'm your new shortstop. Tell the guy he needs to move to second base. I mean, come on. But guys, you can train yourself to think like that. And by the way, the higher your frequency, the greater your results. High frequency, if you measure it, is a product of belief. No doubt, sold out, unwavering, undisputed decision to do. I will make this pitch. I will make this play. I will hit a rocket. No doubt. Okay. When you have no doubt in your mind, you're totally committed. Totally committed. You're high frequency. When you're high frequency, you're at your best. Then the harder you work, build your talent, you know what happens? You're unstoppable. HFP, write it down, high frequency player. HFP, but I'm a high frequency player that comes to change the game. That's another little mantra to take with you. HFP, CTG, high frequency player, CTG, that comes to change the game. I don't come to play the game. I don't come to hope I do okay. I'm here for a mission. And if it's a day where I don't get my hits, you know what? I'm going to help them on defense and I'm going to help them in the dugout. That's the true definition of a difference maker. You find ways to help your team win at all times. And even if you don't get the hits that day, or you get taken out in the third inning because you had a rough, start on the mound, it doesn't matter. You help the reliever attack the batters. You're in the dugout talking to them, strategizing, keeping the team in the game, right? Be that difference maker. Guys, have a great week. And good job, good showing. Remember, elite learners, go back, listen. And we're going to give you one more component to becoming an elite learner, is you have to teach what you wrote down. You got to write it down, then you need to read it, not just once, over and over, and then you got to speak it. You got to speak it and teach it. Teach it to your brother, teach it to the mirror. If you got no one to teach it to, just look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Teach it to your mom, teach it to your dad. Sit down at dinner tonight and say, hey, check this out, Dad. Check this out, Mom. This is what we went through. It'll become a part of you. And that's the way you memorize names. You tell me your name, within 5 minutes, I forgot it, unless I say it over and over in my head. If I say it out loud, I'll never forget it. HFP, CTG. HFP. Okay, this is Pedro's quote. This is Pedro. We're going to finish with this. This is Pedro Martinez, the most dominant right-hander, maybe in the last 50 years. Fierce competitor, 5'9.5", 160 pounds. This is what he said. He said, fear nothing, fear no one, throw every pitch with conviction. Don't worry about results, don't worry about anything. And he would say that over and over to get his mind right, so he can be in the high frequency file. Fear nothing, fear no one, throw every pitch with conviction. So if you're a hitter, take every swing with conviction. That's with belief. Field every ball with conviction. Throw every throw with conviction. Don't worry about results. Don't worry about anything. Thank you, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Appreciate it, Nate.
Thank you,
Awesome.
You're
Nate.
welcome. And let's
Thanks a
just
lot.
finish this on recruiting real quick. This is all recruiting stuff, guys. You want to get recruited? Kalai Rosario was recruited because he checks these boxes. He checks these boxes. Is he perfect? No. You're not perfect. He's not perfect. But he's striving to be the 6-tool player. He checks these boxes. And that's why the Minnesota Twins took him in the top 5 rounds. Not because they got to see him play and hit another home run and take crazy BP and beat Blaze Jordan in the home run derby at the area codes. That wasn't the reason. Makeup. Work on checking the boxes. Better every day, guys. Great showing. Great job. See you next time. Thank you, Adam.
Safe travels,
Thank you,
Nate.
Tony.
See ya.
Thank you, guys.
Nate.
Hi, Freddie, my homie, Freddie's brother.
Thank you,
What's up,
Coach.
Drew Rogers, Big Josh Long. You guys got your minds right? 247, baby. Let's go. If you don't have your minds right, I just go like this. Give me a little, get your mind right. Go ahead. Give it to me, dogs. Come on. Don't be afraid. Yeah, say, get your mind right. Say, loco de la cabeza. Say, loco de la cabeza. Little crazy in the head, loco de la cabeza. Freddie knows. He speaks a little Espanol. What's your brother's name, Freddie? What's your brother's name, Freddie?
Hey, Nicholas Rodriguez. Very good.
So, homie, hey, just in closing, guys, understand this is a journey, man. You guys are going to master this in like a week. You're going to be really good at it one game. You're going to stink at the next. You're going to be good for 3 innings. You're going to be facing some dudes. And you're going to roll for maybe a month. And you're going to go, man, the voice of doubt's coming. It's something you got to work on for the rest of your life. And the greater the opponent, the greater the competition, you know, the more you're going to have some doubt. Because doubt is nothing but uncertainty of the future. That's all it is. I don't know what the future is going to be, so I start to doubt. And doubt lowers your frequency, which creates tension. Okay, and tension destroys all athleticism, all of it. So just be you know, have perspective. You guys aren't going to be mental giants, and everybody struggles. I still struggle with the mental game every day. That's why I teach it, because I want to be in control. I don't want to have my mind running this way and I'm trying to go this way. It's like I want to be together. I want to be a full circle complete. So you just understand it takes time and it's a journey. 35 in the big leagues, you'll be working on it. Lucas Giolito, one of our guys, man, he finally figured it out after 5 years in the big leagues. He was the worst pitcher in the big leagues. And Lucas was one of our area code guys. He played on our team for 3 years. So in 96 as a sophomore, couldn't throw one strike at the area code, threw like balls 100 feet over the catcher's head, hitting the screen, almost dosing scouts. And the next year he did better. Then he gets to the big leagues and he's horrible. And he finally said, you know what, I'm learning how to trust myself. It's like, how about learning how to trust yourself right now? Because if you wait that long, you're probably not going to get to the big leagues because most of you guys aren't going to be first rounders. Most of us are not going to be that guy signing for $5 million out of high school, out of college. So get your mind right now. Learn to trust yourself. And trust is just a decision. I'm going to trust myself today. Trust myself with every pitch, every swing. That's what confidence is. It's trust. Think big, feel big, play big. Can't be beat. See you guys.
Take care.
Bass Pro, look at that dude. Avery Phillips. It's like a rock star. Get the guitar, you're gonna bust it out. Those platinum albums on the wall you got right there, bro. There's your platinum albums. Are you sure? Come on, dog. Look at Tony's your bass player. Stay thirsty, my friends, with the beard. Yeah, baby. What's Adam? Adam's playing what? Adam's playing what? This saxophone, baby. Sax. Yeah.
All right, Nate.
All right, I'm gonna play the tambourine. See you guys.
Later.
Lights are shutting down in the DR, baby.